QEMU from source. You could probably use Mac ports or the other Macintosh package manager. But I'm going to make a directory or folder called QEMU or QEMU stuff. There we go. So now I'm just going to make a blank hard disk image. That's a bunch of null bytes. What should I call it? HD9G. BS equals 6. 1 megabyte per block. Oh, we do 2048. That's 2 gigabytes maximum partition size for DOS. We've got 100 gigabytes or so free. Whatever. Let's see. Now let's find the totally legitimate disk images I need to do now. Let me rename this. Let's do that. Put that all the way down to the bottom. I'm going to open each of these in turn and then copy the contents to a new folder. Now I'm going to copy these to this Windows 3 CD folder, but much the same reason that I copied the Windows 1 and 2 to new images. And that is so I don't have to disk swap. Alright, let's see. So just copy everything over. Okay, so now that I've got them copied over, I use this nifty command to turn them into an ISO image. So, we're going to do HDI util make private. Oh, that ISO file, we have the path of the folder, so that would be my home directory /CD, yep, ISO format, so that it works in Windows, and that's it. Alrighty, there we go. QEMU has links for drivers for Windows for running in QEMU or other one. Look into Wayback Machine. That's pretty neat that it does that. 2.1. It's a 3.1 pack. I'll just download that. Well, let's see if this works, huh? Let's download this as an ISO, I guess. QEMU command. So here's QEMU system i386 HDD.img. So that's the hard drive. CD-ROM WFW311.iso. That's the install files. We burned them to disk basically by creating that ISO. Boot C, that's C as in the hard drive. M 256 megabytes is the most that Windows 3 can use. That the VGA VMware because that's the one that works, and then not HW adlib because the Sound Blaster 16 made a really terrible sound. Warning, really terrible sound. Yeah, that's what it sounded like. And then PC SPK, it's the PC speaker. Because if the adlib driver doesn't work, we'll have to install that one. That's all that you're able to do on modern. Then net, we're going to have it do this PC net. We're going to set that up after we finish setting up Windows. We'll set that up too. Alright. So now, here we go. Oh yeah, this is all the setup files for Windows 3. Wait for it to finish. Let's run setup. To set up it now, press enter. Hit C. Yes, I want to install it in Windows. For QEMU, the version 3. VGA parentheses version 3.0 driver is the one that works. So we'll do that one. Language. Put it there. US because I have a US keyboard. I'm used to that. Yeah, I think that's the one that we want. And then it's a PS2 mouse. You can also set up a serial mouse. You can run this screen again after you've installed Windows. So it's not that big of a deal if it's wrong. It's still annoying to have to redo it. Now let's copy everything over. Just copying files over. Setup will attempt to detect what network card. we have on the computer. Well, we don't. Well, we have a driver on the 3.1 pack CD, so we'll just hold off on that. Let's do that. Don't want to set up any kind of printer, but we do want to set up applications already on the hard drive. Don't need README files. We do want all of this stuff. This one takes longer. Might just cut to the end of this. Like, okay, so now that that's done, we'll hit this. We will install Microsoft Windows Network. And we'll just install a random driver. And then we'll or let's see what Windows thinks it is. Oh, I couldn't detect it. Alright. So we'll just put this one in, and then we'll uninstall it. Let's do that. And let's call this WFW. I don't think it likes having periods in the name, so we'll do that. We'll do that. Make all the modifications, and then I'll just edit it once we're done. So everything's coming up just fine. Then we want to look on and see as well. Let's search, and we'll call it this. That's fine. That's actually the FreeDOS editor, but whatever. Actually, let's just set up everything. This will just get thrown in applications, and we can open them from Windows. Alright. Let's skip the tutorial. We all know how to use this. Let's return to that. Alright. Edit config.sys. We want to.
If they do destroy your email.
We don't want smart drive that's disk caching, but we don't really need that. I don't know if I've heard that it doesn't actually help. And we'll just device high that so it's loaded into high memory so it doesn't eat up. Because even like Windows 95 and 98 needed the lower 640 kilobytes for stuff. And then we'll edit auto-exec.bat. So first, get rid of smart drive. And then we want this echo off. We want that at the top so that it doesn't show those commands on the screen. And then yeah, that's right. Actually, why don't we do LH these things? Forgot to do that when I was installing DOS. Alright. And now we can Control Alt Delete. Oh wait. We forgot the most important part. And that is
Back to where I understand. Now leave.
we also need to change the CD drive. Normally, changing the CD drive is best done with the computer on, but with an emulator, it's easier to do. So again, we'll do the 3.1 pack CD for driver and stuff. It's always best to have a boot CD in case you mess up the system. But in this case, so now let's go to network setup. So now with the 3.1 pack, we have all the stuff we need. So let's remove that because that's an adapter, and we added an adapter, and we want to do it unlisted or updated because and the files are going to be in the 3.1 pack. Because I know the specific driver, you could always look up. Most of the time, if you look up the driver, if you figure out what network card you have, you can. If it's an Ethernet card, you can probably just look up whatever the model is, driver, and you should find it, and you can download the drivers for it. But in this case, it's emulated a PCNet driver, which all you need to do, which is on the 3.1 pack CD. And yep, that directory, and I hit OK. So AMD PCNet family. Alright. Advanced Micro Devices is AMD. And then yep. And we also want to add the protocol of, well, it's gonna be unlisted or updated. And it's going to be in, it's on 3.1 pack as well. And it's on, because we have TCB, this one, TCP32B. And that's the, and you can just, and that can be downloaded by itself as well. Now we got all of that installed. Let's close that. Hit OK. And we're just going to not replace them. We can leave the files that are already there. And let's enable DHCP. Yeah, want to do that. I don't think there's anything else we need to set up, but we might need to. So we start the computer. Yep. Then we'll see if we can get sound working. Well, I'll have to give up on sound, huh? That's okay. I want to try something else. Let's try networking. So we do have TCP IP stack. So okay, so for browsers, for Netscape, you might have to go through a few websites and with dead links before finding it, but the other ones are easy enough. And the versions, you want the 16-bit version, of course, because it's Windows 3. And then for Netscape Navigator, you want Netscape Navigator 4.08. For Internet Explorer, you want Internet Explorer 5.0. And for Opera, you want Opera 3.62. And you can just download them from the internet. The Opera is a trialware, but the other two are free. And start this up. Alrighty. These require 486 and 8 megs of RAM. It's not that much. Or not that much by today's standards. Let's open up File Manager. Oh, forgot about the 8.3. Let's install Netscape 4.08. Alright, Netscape Navigator 4.0. Alrighty. Look at this 16 color beautiful gradient. Beautiful dithered gradient. Alright, welcome to setup. Next. I accept license agreement. Let me custom set up stuff. Yeah, let's create that directory. Oh, we have Flash? Well, that's interesting. I'll have to see if that works. Yeah, let's do that. That's fine. Let's get Navigator. And install. Please wait. Installing Netscape Navigator 4.08 files. Yeah. I should just snap my fingers and it'd be done, right? I still have to wait for it. Maybe I should just snap my fingers and then cut out the rest of the installation process. Updating Windows registry, huh? Let's see. No. Setup is complete, yay!
Netscape Navigator 4.08 was released in 1998.
Its CSS support was very poor. Its web standard support was kind of bad, which required it needing to be rewritten, which eventually became Firefox. Internet Explorer also needed to be rewritten, but not till like 10 years later, or maybe even more. Now we can run it. Let's try it. Oh, we got a deinstaller, not an uninstaller. Create a new profile. There we go. Let's do that. Alright, let's open it up and see. 4.0. It's 4.08, silly. Oh yeah, that don't work. But if you have a proxy, it might. It's annoying that they hard-coded with yours else. Let's see. Changed hosting providers because the other one was doing something screwy that was messing with the old browser. So look at that. Let's try Google. See if that works. Alright, so we have working Google. Let's look up. Let's see if that works. Let's see how that works. It's just plain HTTP. Anyways, it's not HTTP. Yes, unfortunately. Yeah, I saw this much. Let's see if this one works. If it is fair. Again, in file manager, we're gonna boss some files around. Specifically, this. We're gonna run this program. We're gonna set up. It's for Windows 3.1 and Windows NT 3.5. Yeah, they didn't. I think the 32-bit version either didn't support NT 3.5 or it was because it was NT 3.5 for like PowerPC or something, which would mean that it would, which had a emulator for 16-bit software but not 32-bit. Oh, I think it didn't like above 64 megabytes. So we'll reboot this with we'll just do it the hacky way and change the memory from 256 megabytes to 64 megabytes. Let's do 64. It's not that much memory, 64 megabytes, but it'll do. But it's more than enough for Internet Explorer 5 on Windows 3 or 3.11 or Windows for Workgroups 3.11. Let's see. Well, let's set up. We'll see if this works. Oh yeah, it has Java support. I have to see if any Java applets work. Maybe, I don't know. Probably crash. Please wait.
What?
Please wait. It says please wait. Replaces previous versions of Internet Explorer. Accept the agreement. Let's do standard. Let's do a standard Internet Explorer. Yeah, because this way I don't have to mess with the dialer and messing stuff. Settings. Internet Explorer 5, Outlook Express 5, Microsoft VM, and browser customizations. That's about as much as we want. Does that thing that work? Details. Yeah, we can skip that one file. That's fine. Come on. Right, active setup is now installing stuff. Yay, yay, yay. MS HTML16 encrypted. What? I'm on Pacific time. I'm on Eastern time. I don't know about that. Alright. Move all this stuff around, and let's see if this works. Internet Explorer 5.0 was released in 1999. Internet Explorer 4.0, 5.0, and 5.5 each supported 5 versions of Windows. 4.0 and 5.0 supported 3, NT3, NT4, 95, and 98. 5.5 supported NT4, 95, 98, ME, and 2000, making the 5.x series support 7 versions, the most of any Internet Explorer version. It's working! Browser, of course, not the page. So the secret to installing Internet Explorer 5 is not installing the dialer. So, even the navigation menu works. The reason why this menu works is because some of the JavaScript, modern standard JavaScript methods were first introduced as non-standard methods in Internet Explorer 4.0, and also there are non-standard JavaScript functions in Internet Explorer 4.0 and up that do the same thing as the standard ones, and I've made it use them on old versions of Internet Explorer to make it work with them. Let's go to google.com. Yay! It's working. that's working. Alright, let's try. Yeah, let's do that. It's fine. This is the one I want. Let's see. Does this work? Okay, that's fine. Hey, it's working. Let's see if it works. Let's download that now. That's okay. It's okay. I don't expect all sites to work flawlessly in Internet Explorer 5.0. Save it to the disk yet. Download.php. Let's see. I think that might be. Let's see. exe. Let's move it here. Let's see if that works. Alright. Let's see if it works. Hey! That looks like working. Hey! This installation program will install Opera 3.62. Oh yeah, that's fine. Opera 3.62. Installing it. This version of Opera is from 2000. We're going to see what we can do with internet browsing with this Opera version from 2000. Hey, look at that. Look at that. I downloaded something and installed it. Probably should have been the one I started with. Yeah, it's an evaluation. It's a trial version. That's fine. Trialware. Okay. These are working days, not calendar days. Blah, blah, blah. Alright. Preferences. Let's try enable. Alright. TLS 1.0. But it probably still doesn't work with new v3.biz. There we go. See if we can load YouTube. Nope. Anyway, let's try google.com. Let's try that. Let's try. Can I look on? Nope, it doesn't like Wikipedia either. Oh look, that's displaying entirely without dithering because it's that much color. Internet Explorer is evil. Oh look at this ugly looking picture of Devil Bill Gates. New Internet Explorer errors. File not found. The requested URL on my computer was not found on this server. The perils of web integration. This page contains anti-Microsoft content. Game over. Insert quarter to browse the internet. MS HTTP error 770 brain not found. Integration error. Microsoft Scrub is now in every application. MS HTTP error 666. Bill Gates rules. Look at the web page with it. This said only works right in IE 5.5 SP2 at 800 by 600 resolution, 24-bit color, using a full-size window as a default. It's a good feature. When you exit it, it asks you if you want to save the windows. It has these internal windows rather than tabs. It asks you if you want to save them, and you can check that. Modern browsers just save it without even asking, which is not terribly useful. You're going to go into control panel for one reason, and that is I don't want to get rid of it. But if you check this, that'll make file access faster, I believe. So we want to check this, and then we're gonna type in the recommended size like that. Yep, and then 32-bit file access will speed up file access, which will make... Oh, shoot. It was coming up. It was starting up anyways. It'll make accessing the files faster in Windows 3. Which will make the startup faster and other things of that nature. But still, like, I think that's only for the hard drive, so of course, like, the CD-ROM drive is still going to be accessed through DOS, through a DOS driver. Because Windows 3 has no
native support for.
Alright.
And that is the end of this video.
Java.